going to start with a brief introduction. My name's Alfie, by the way, and the piece we're looking at here is called The Blues Is All Wrong. Chuck recorded it on his piano blues album called Back to the Woods, but it was originally recorded back in the 1930s by a lady called Leona Manning. So the structure of these lessons, we're going to start with the left hand and start with a really basic stride to teach you that, and then we're going to work onto the right hand once you've mastered the left hand. The left hand in this piece, or this recording of Chuck's, is actually really complicated. He uses a mixture of stride piano, walking bass lines and some other things, and there's also a guitar player who's doing a really good job of going in between the piano, and between them they kind of mingle together and create a really complicated left hand or bass line. So we're going to start by simplifying things. We're going to just take the stride piano, very basic stride piano in case you don't know it, and I'm going to teach you that. And then I'll spend a bit longer, well much longer, talking about how to make it more advanced, adding swing notes, changing the bass note, and adding some walking bass lines as well. So that's the left hand. It's really important you get that solid because the left hand is going to be what makes all your playing groove. If your left hand doesn't groove, then it doesn't matter how good your right hand is, your playing just won't groove generally. Then we're going to look at the right hand. We're going to analyse a few of Chuck's licks that I think are really cool, and I'm going to show you a way to make them your own, not to copy them, but to take elements of them and make up your own phrases using the same elements as Chuck. So that'll be the right hand, which is the second lot of videos. Before we start any of that, I just want to look at the form of this blues. It's an 8-bar blues, and if you have a look at the chart here, I'm going to talk through it quickly. So the first 4 measures are pretty simple. You've got 2 measures of G7, followed by 2 measures of C7. It then goes back to G7 for 1 measure, and then goes to A7 for 2 beats. And the A7 is kind of a leading chord into D7, which is also for 2 beats. That's then a leading chord into the G7. And these last 2 measures are what we call a turnaround, so it's turning us around back to the start of the progression again. So you've got 2 beats of G7, followed by 2 beats of C7, back to G7 for 2 beats, and then finally 2 beats of D7, which then leads you nicely back into the start of the form, the G7. So that's the 8-bar blues form we're going to be using on this piece. Next, just go to the first video, which is all about the basic left-hand stride part. If you already know how to use stride a bit, then you can skip past that video and go to the one where we're talking a bit more in depth about extra things you can add to it.